Who actually killed Jesus? Growing up, I was always confused about this question. Some said the Jews did it, others pointed out that Rome ruled everything, and the Romans nailed him to the cross. Was this just bad publicity? Or something much deeper? I'm Ken Lort, and I dig into the questions most people avoid. Today, we walk through the entire story, like following a map of that 1 week in Jerusalem. We'll see what the Bible really says happened. Who had the power to execute him? How this blame caused 2,000 years of violence, and whether it even matters anymore who did it. What really happened? We have ancient accounts, but outside the Bible, almost nothing. Josephus mentions around 93 AD that Jesus was crucified under Pilate. Tacitus writes about it around 116 AD. That's it. So the main source is the four Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Views on their reliability differ wildly. Some see them as God's literal word, 100% accurate. Others view them as human documents mixing history, memory, legend, and theology. Skeptics say they're invented, but without the Gospels. We know almost nothing about Jesus' death. Serious scholars agree Jesus existed, and Pontius Pilate crucified him. Common objections from skeptics: the accounts don't match perfectly. Events appear in some books, missing in others. A few details contradict. Believers explain it with different perspectives or literary styles. Skeptics see proof of inaccuracy. Timing: written decades later. Mark around 70 IID, John maybe 90 to 100 ID. Political pressure. After Rome destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD, openly blaming Rome was risky. Shifting toward Jewish leaders felt safer. Still, the Bible is our core source. Here's the story. It begins at Passover, Jerusalem's biggest holiday. The city swells from 40,000 to maybe 400,000 pilgrims. Roman troops on high alert. Passover celebrates freedom from Egypt. Under Roman rule, that's tense. Jesus rides in. Crowds shout praise, wave branches, throw coats. Palm Sunday. But most Jerusalem residents probably didn't know him. His ministry was short, mostly in Galilee, 60 miles north. The cheering crowd was likely small. Days later, Jesus enters the temple, flips money changers' tables, calls it a den of robbers. This attacks the religious and economic heart of Judaism. Authorities take notice. Then betrayal. Judas Iscariot leads temple guards to Jesus at night, paid 30 pieces of silver. Matthew says Judas later regretted it and hanged himself. They drag Jesus to the Sanhedrin and high priest Caiaphas. Charge: blasphemy, claiming to be Son of God and Messiah. But under Roman law, Jews couldn't execute, so they reframe it politically. A king of the Jews. Sedition against Rome. They bring him to Pontius Pilate. Pilate questions him, finds no crime. 3 times. Crowd demands blood. Pilate offers Passover release. Jesus or Barabbas, a rebel murderer. Crowd chooses Barabbas. In Matthew, Pilate washes his hands. I am innocent of this man's blood. Crowd, his blood be on us and on our children. That line, in one gospel only, later twisted for centuries of horror. Gospels show Pilate reluctant, pressured. History shows him brutal, executing without hesitation to keep order. Rome crucified thousands routinely. Pilate orders it. Soldiers crucify Jesus. Sign above, King of the Jews. Christians believe 3 days later. Resurrection. 40 more days teaching. Then ascension. 6 years later, 36 AD. Pilate and Caiaphas both lose positions. Pilate massacred Samaritans. Diplomatic disaster. 40 years on, Rome destroys temple, scatters Jews. The system Caiaphas protected, gone anyway. Who had real power? 3 groups: The crowd at the trial. Rome. Jewish religious leaders. The crowd? Gospels don't specify size, dozens or hundreds at most. Tiny fraction of Passover pilgrims. Most Jews prepared celebrations. Unaware. Blaming the Jews as a whole. Unfair. Bible has collective punishment stories. Pharaoh's Egypt, Noah's flood. But this was internal. Jews debating if Jesus was Messiah. The Jews killed Jesus only fits looking back through centuries of separation. Rome governed indirectly, deals with local elites, keep order, taxes, no rebellion, keep power, mess up, crushed. Caiaphas, high priest, political appointment by Rome, lasted 18 years, unusually long, kept job by keeping Rome happy. Jesus, uncontrollable threat, crowds, unrest, Roman crackdown risk. John quotes him, "Better one man die than whole nation perish." Cold calculation. Sanhedrin, 71 members, power over religious matters, but political needed Rome. Jesus touched both. Pilate. King of the Jews equals sedition. Crucifixion equals standard terror message, not personal, routine. Temple leaders, limited power, like middle management. Small elite group wanted him gone. Rome executed, standard. How did this become 2,000 years of violence? Early Christians, mostly Jewish. Blaming Jews made no sense. Enemy was Rome. Christianity spread to Gentiles and separated from Judaism. 313 AD, legalized. Later, Rome's official religion. Problem, empire's faith, but Rome killed your God. Narrative shifted. Jews as main villains. Accusations piled on. Rejectors of Messiah, cursed by God, convert or else. Medieval restrictions, badges, ghettos, Crusader massacres, pogroms during Holy Week. Catholic Good Friday prayers until the 1960s. Perfidious Jews, built infrastructure Nazis used. After Holocaust, 1965. Catholic Church rejects collective guilt, condemns antisemitism. Protestants followed. Irony. Christianity hated Jews for 1500 years, while worshipping Jewish God, reading Jewish scriptures, following Jewish Messiah. Jesus, Mary, apostles, Paul, prophets, all Jewish. Does it matter who killed him? Christian teaching, all humans sin. Jesus died for those sins, prophesied centuries earlier. Isaiah 53:5, 700 years before. He was pierced for our transgressions. By his wounds we are healed. Jesus had to die, for resurrection, for salvation. He said, "No one takes my life, I lay it down willingly." Not victim, willing sacrifice. Peter preached. People acted in ignorance. God used it for prophecy. Focus, resurrection, forgiveness, not blame. Mainstream theology. He went willingly. Divine purpose. Since all sin, and he died for all, we all share responsibility. We may not solve every detail, but the facts hold. If this stirred you, check my other video. Were slaves in America really bred for strength? And does it explain top black athletes? Common idea, controversial. I found it eye-opening.